So by now, I guess you probably have already heard, if you haven't heard already, all of the commotion, everything that's going on about this new Netflix show called The Umbrella Academy, which is based off of the source material off of the comic book. So today, we're not going to be talking about the story or anything that goes on that one. Today, we're going to focus on the characters. We're going to focus on the seven Hargreaves children that were growing up in the orphanage and what they are, what their powers are, and what their motivations are if they have any. So sit back, relax, grab your popcorn if you have some, because now we are going to take a trip into the Umbrella Academy. Okay, so here we are. We're gonna go ahead and start off with. I don't need this anymore. It's not really raining in here, so I don't need that anymore. We're going to start off in order. So we're going to start off with number one. We're going to start off with Luther, aka number one. Strengths on this guy is basically he's your basic strong man of the group. He has the super strength and the super agility. It's basically all he is. He's number one. He's supposed to be the leader of the team, but his leading and his team working skills, his team leading skills need a lot of work. But if you need somebody to like lift a strong building or something like that, I would go ahead and go with Luther. Luther's your guy. He's the guy to go to. Next we have number two, which is Diego. Diego's powers are pretty simple. He has the ability to hold his breath for a really, really long time, and he also has the ability to throw knives at a credible accuracy. So basically, he's like the bullseye of the group. He can take knives and he can throw them with pinpoint accuracy. He's also a pretty good fighter. He's dabbled in some martial arts, has some martial arts training. So yeah, he's a pretty good fighter. He tried to try for the police academy, but he got kicked out. That didn't work so well for him. But that's okay though, because he's still even though he didn't get the police academy, he still runs around and he still helps people in the city. So he's still doing good in his own little vigilante slash kind of messed up sort of way. But he's still a decent guy underneath. Still a decent guy underneath. Number three, we have Allison, aka Rumor, if you want to go by her superhero name that she uses. Her powers are, let's see, what's the word I want to use? Probably vocular manipulation, if you want to do it, or maybe just a little bit of just like manipulation. She can, whatever she says can sort of kind of come true, or he can make a person do what she says that she wants them to do. So like in a particular thing in the story, when they're children, they show her in the bank and they show her walk up to the she should walk up to the guy with the gun, and she says, I heard a rumor, and she shot your friend in the foot, and he turns around and he shoots his friend in the foot. So basically whatever she says, they do, because that's part of her power, and that's one of the main reasons that she has the status that she has in Hollywood. She's a superstar. She's a very famous actress, and believe it or not, I would dare to say that some of her fame and fortune have come from her whispering in the right people's ear and having her get them to do what she wants them to do, basically. So number three, Rumor. She's actually my favorite. She has some pretty good fighting skills on her too. But as far as like power test is concerned, she's one of my favorites. I have another one up in here coming up soon. Ah, number four, we have Cletus, everybody's favorite little medium. Cletus can talk to the dead. Cletus can see and talk to the dead. He doesn't really like this power, never really liked it as a child. That's why he's in a growth state he is. He takes a lot of alcohol, does a lot of drugs, keep himself high, keep himself medicated, so he can keep the voices of the dead away, stop seeing them. He doesn't want anything to do with them. He just wants to live his life. He's a very flamboyant character, as you will see in the show. Some of his outfit choices are a little questionable, but he's still a good guy. He's still a fun-loving guy. Through watching the show, fell in love with Cletus, fell in love with that character, and the things that he basically learns about himself later on during out the during out the show. So Cletus is a good guy. Keep an eye on him. He's something special about that kid. Keep an eye on him if you decide to watch it. Number 5 is basically that's him. That's his name. His name is Number 5. He doesn't have a name on the show. Don't think they ever gave him a name because I don't know. Don't know why they never gave him a name, but he's just Number 5. He has the powers of space and time manipulation. Basically, he's a teleporter. He can teleport through space, like he can teleport from here to the kitchen and back. And also, if he concentrates his powers hard enough, he can actually travel through time himself. So he's the teleporter slash time traveler of the group. Um, he is one of the ones that doesn't grow up in the show. Well, he does grow up, but for the remainder of the show, he's still a kid. And once you watch it, you'll find out why. No spoilers, but there's a reason why when you see him throughout the show, everybody else is an adult and he's still a kid. So keep an eye on that. It's a very crucial part of the story that they're trying to tell, which is a very good story, by the way. Number 6. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Ben. Ben, unfortunately, which they don't go into details about in the show or in the comics, Ben just had there was a mission and Ben unfortunately got killed. And that's all we know. So the remainder of the show, starting off the show, it showed Ben as a kid. And then it fast forward to the future where the father's dead and Ben is also dead. Ben, aka the Horror, which is his nickname, has the power to summon a dimension within his body, and in that dimension, he's able to release these octopus-like tentacles that he's able to control throughout the inside of his body. And they appear that when he used them, they appear to hurt him. But yeah, he can open up a dimension inside of his body, and octopus-like tentacles come out. You see this twice you see this once in the beginning when he was a kid. He goes in like this door, and then all you see is the tentacles come out, and people start flying, and people's faces are hitting the glass and everything. And then he comes out, and he's covered in blood, and he was like, "Can we go home now?" So he really didn't want to be there. So that's one instance of his powers. His powers also show up again later on towards the end of the movie. How and why they show up, I don't know. You have to watch and find out. Like I said, no spoilers, but you'll have to watch and find out. Also, the relationship between him and Cletus is also very, very good, very, very well done. Keep an eye on those two. Keep an eye on Cletus and Ben. Crucial parts of the story. And last but not least, we have Vanya. She, unfortunately, all of them are orphans because all of them don't have real parents. They've all grown up together, but she was the most, I won't say she's the most orphan. She's the most segregated out of the bunch because while all of the other children were doing things and getting along and going on mission, she was always the one that had to stay and be left behind because she was told by her father that, she wasn't special like the other kids. So she had to stay behind while they went off and did superhero stuff. And she stayed behind and practiced the violin for 3, 4, or 5 hours a day. And she grew up isolated, grew up alone, never really getting to connect with her other brothers and sisters. And that comes to full fruition after the fact, after she's grown up, all of those feelings of them being left behind and everything come out. She actually takes her frustration and she puts it into a book. That she writes a book that made some waves for a little bit. It was popular for a little bit, then it kind of dropped off. But basically, she made an autobiography about her time growing up in the Umbrella Academy, about her father, about her mother, about the assistant, about everybody, about all of her brothers and her sister and everything. And that was one of the main things that kind of turned some of them. They kind of turned some of them and kind of pushed her away even more. That she went ahead and she made this book about their whole life without their permission. Didn't even ask them. Just made the book and just kind of threw it out there to the world. Like, bam, this is what happened. This is how I grew up. This is how I feel. And, that's how things were as a kid. And all of that comes back. All of that comes back full circle. The book, her being isolated from the rest of the kids, the rest of her peers and whatnot, that comes full fruition. So watch the story. Very interesting how they made all that come full circle, and some little twists and surprises along the way that, once again, no spoilers. You're going to have to go watch it. I don't want to spoil anything because I want you to watch it, and I want you to not be surprised because honestly, there's nothing like truly groundbreaking about the story, but the way that the Umbrella Academy was put together and the way that they put the characters together and the story and everything they're trying to do, they put together, all of that was so good. So they put all of that together and it made for one interesting story. Whether or not it wasn't new in any sort of way, but it was a new different, if that makes any kind of sense. So that was my little overview of the Hargrave's Children from the Umbrella Academy. If you guys like this video, and if you like this face, this little face right here, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to turn on notifications so that you can be aware and get notified whenever I drop a new video. So this has been Boken Inc. I would like to thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video. You take care. Now, where's my umbrella? Oh, looks like it's raining again. I might have to go grab my umbrella. See you guys later.